This is Prophet Adam testimony about 361 chambers of hell. The Lord visited me and showed me the reality of the afterlife. The Lord said, I am showing you this because I want you to go to the world and tell the world the reality of the afterlife and hell that you will see here, so that they will know that there is life after death. The Lord said the attraction, entertainment and pleasure of this world is blinding the world population about the reality of the afterlife. But humanity must understand that if the rapture is being delayed, death will come like a thief in their lives. Beloved, I was taken to hell in a period of 351 days in order to visit the 351 chambers of hell. In John 3:16 the Bible says, For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life. Brother, there are 12 gateways that lead to hell. These gates lead to the 12 tunnel which lead to 351 chambers of hell, the chambers of sexual sins. When we arrive in this chamber of hell, I saw many doors that were guarded by demons. In this first chamber, I saw that it was written the prison of those who are bought, the condemnation of sexual sins. There was a board, with a list of condemnation of various sexual sins. When I read this list, I saw the kind of sexual sin that lead to condemnation. The first sexual sin was the sin of people who have sexual intercourse in their dream. The second sexual sin was the sin of people who had sexual intercourse before marriage. The third was the homosexual, the fornicator, and those who practice abortion. When we arrived in this chamber of sexual sins, I could not see people. All I could see was great flames of fire, and I heard people who were crying inside the fire. We could hear people but we could not see them. Then the Lord showed me a man who had a ring of covenant on his finger. When he saw us coming, the man began to tell us his story. He said, When I got married to my wife, I was faithful to her until death. I have never committed fornication. I have not lusted after women. I was faithful to my wife, for we grew up together since childhood, and when we got older we got married legally. However, when I got in my marriage, I began to have constant dream of sexual intercourse with a woman. I could not identify the lady that was coming in my dream to have sexual intercourse with me. I have never been able to see her, yet every night this woman came to have sex with me. As these sexual dreams became repetitive, I decided to talk to my pastor, and we set a program for deliverance prayer. On that day of deliverance, though the pastor prayed for me in order to stop and cancel these sexual dreams, however, right after the prayer session, I came to see that his prayer did not stop this phenomena and the sexual dreams continue. And when death came, I was condemned in the afterlife because of these sexual activity in the dream. Beloved, I saw that this brother who inside a pit of fire was surrounded by 7 female devils. Actually, the woman who had constant sexual intercourse with this man in the dream was one of these 7 female demons of hell. The female devil was a siren who was coming in his dream to abuse and mate with him. This female demon was pouring stain and impurity on this man during sexual intercourse. This man was defiled and stained by sexual intercourse in the dream. Many people are stained and made impure by sex in dreams, but they don't see the dangers and the consequence in their spirit that is defiled. While this man was talking to us, I saw that this brother was in a pit and 7 female demons were dancing around him. I asked the Lord about the pit in which this man was burning. The Lord said, Whenever people live in sin on the earth, they are providing and delivering material such as brick and cement for the construction of their pit in hell. Sinful life equal to delivery of material for the construction of the pit of fire. And thanks to a sinful life, people helping and providing material for the building of their pit in hell. In Proverb the Bible say a wicked man dig his own hole. People are digging their pit in hell thanks to sinful life. I saw that this man who was in this pit of fire was also rotting. There were worms all over him because of sex in the dream. The soul that sin will die. The brother was faithful in marriage, but in the spirit she was having sex. There were in this place men who had committed fornication in their heart through the eyes. Then I saw a brother in the pit. There was chain in his body. I mean his body was hanged with hook like animal meat in the butchery. There was a hook in his mouth, his penis and anus. One day he was trying to separate 2 women who were fighting, but as he was separating the 2 ladies, one of them torn apart the blouse of her opponent, who became topless and her breasts were hanging out. This man saw the breast of that woman and the image of the breast of that woman stay in the mind of this brother. However, this man failed to erase this image from his mind. He kept seeing the topless image of that lady in his mind, and this image took him to hell. In the end time, the devil is working hard with images. I saw in hell a sister. I saw that cockroaches were coming out of her private part because of short skirts she used to wear on the earth. One day she went to church with a mini skirt, and while the pastor was preaching the word to the congregation, she opened her leg, and when the pastor saw her underwear, he was distracted and could not concentrate. One day this lady came to attend deliverance prayer. She was dressed with a miniskirt. During the deliverance prayer in the church, she fell into demonic manifestation and in unconsciousness. Since she was wearing miniskirt, her body was exposed to the public. Many brothers who came to church on that day went back home with that image of her nakedness, which was seen by everybody in the church, and she could not enter the kingdom when she died. Brother, I found out that there were huge numbers of people that were condemned in hell, for sin that they have forgotten and sins that they were unaware of. Thus it is up to the believers to pray to the Lord to reveal to them forgotten sin and unknown sin that may lead them to hell, for they are spirits of accusation in the afterlife. In this place of sexual condemnation, I saw a woman in a pit. I was told by the Lord that when she had her third child, she decided with her husband not to have any more children. Not long after that decision, she found out that she was pregnant. She went on to abort the pregnancy. Later she got pregnant again and she aborted again. In total she aborted 5 pregnancy. When she died, she fell in this place of torment in a pit of fire, where the image of the children that she aborted were shouting justice and vengeance against her. Then we left this chambers of sexual sins, the chambers of witches and occultism. Then the Lord took me to another chambers of hell. This was a place of torment for people who visited mystic, native doctor and Juju priest. Beloved, in his life on earth the Lord had nothing that belonged to the devil, and God children must not visit the mystic. In this place I saw a lady that have injury on her 2 legs which were rotting. The lady also had chain on her leg. The Lord said, one day this lady went out and left her clothes on the dryer in the public. While her clothes was in the dryer, the rain began to fall. But when it was about to rain, her neighbor removed her clothes from the dryer in order to keep it from getting wet. And when this lady came back, her neighbor gave her back her clothes that they kept for her. However, one cloth was missing. As a result, this lady began to suspect that it was stolen by her neighbor, and there was a row between her and her neighbor. They said to her, "We preserve your clothes from the rainwater, yet this is the way you thank us. We did not steal your clothes." But this lady went to consult a mystic to find out who stole her clothes, and the mystic went on to strike her neighbor with mystical injury, though she was innocent. Her neighbor had really suffered from this mystical injury. One day this neighbor went to church to seek prayer and solution from a local church. Thanks to the prayer of the local church, she recovered and was healed from these mystical injury, for she was innocent. Many years later this lady died. When she died, the mystical injury that the mystic inflicted to her innocent neighbor upon her request came on her 2 legs, and she was in this place of torment. Beloved, this chamber of hell had the size of a continent. Then I saw a man in a pit. He was asking repeatedly, "Why am I here? What have I done to be here?" When this man saw the Lord Jesus coming towards his pit, he was relieved and became hopeful. He said, "Lord, I knew that one day you will come to deliver me from this torment." The Lord said to me, "This man is here because he was given money by a man who was using magical power in order to have money." Many people knew that the money of that magician was from satanic sources, yet this man ignored that truth and got money from the magician. When this man died, he was condemned because of satanic money. This lost soul accepted the money of the magician despite the fact it came from mystical means. Therefore he became partaker of the action of that mystic by accepting his mystical money. This money was shouting justice because it came from evil origin. When you knows that someone resort to mystic to get money, you should not touch his money for fear of partaking his evil. Then we left this man. As we move in this chamber of torment, I saw a mountain, where it was written, Valley of Sorcery. In this place that was a valley, I saw fire that was turning around like a whirlwind. This kind of fire is never seen on the earth, and inside the fire that was like a whirlwind, brother, I heard the cries of many people. When we descended in this valley of witches and wizards inside the fire, I saw animals and beasts of all kind, yet these beasts had human face. I saw people that had the body of various animal and beast of all kind. However, the head of these various beast and animal was that of human. I wonder how could animal have human head? I was made aware that these were not animal, they were human who had practiced witchcraft on the earth, though they had body of animals. In the valley of sorcery, I saw a snake that had the face of a man. The lower part of this snake was burning in a huge pan. I said to the Lord, on the earth I never saw a snake with human head. The Lord said, this man that you see with the body of a snake was a witch, and he used to transform himself to a snake, and he was killing babies in the womb of pregnant women, in order to consume their flesh. In his life he has killed a lot of baby in the womb of pregnant women, and he ate their flesh. Whenever he killed a baby in the womb mystically, these pregnant women had miscarriage and gave birth to dead baby. The Lord said, this man was turning to a snake in the night, and he was navigating the city in order to seek pregnant women who were not covered by God protection, and he was entering their body through their genital organ in order to kill the baby in the womb and consume his flesh. Thus this witch was turning to a snake and entering women's womb to kill their baby. When this witch died, the Lord said that his soul took the shape of the snake. This is his punishment because he was adopting the shape of a snake in order to kill baby. The snake was his identity. I saw that the head of this man was changing from man to woman, from woman to a child. I asked the Lord, why is the face of this man is changing to different faces? The Lord said, he was adopting different faces when he was practicing witchcraft. He came to attack people in their dream with different faces in order to hide his identity. That is why all the faces that he was wearing in dream in order to attack his victim are manifesting. Then we left this man and we moved in this place in the valley of wizards. I saw an elephant with the head of a woman. I asked the Lord about this. The Lord said this woman was a farmer. She used to live in the village where farming was the bead basket and source of revenue, and she used to travel to the capital to sell banana that she was planting. However, in the night she was turning to an elephant in order to destroy his neighbor plantations so that they would not be ready for selling. I saw in this valley of wizard that all the people had the body of animal like rat, bird and beast. These were the shape that they were adopting in order to operate. There was a lot of fire in this valley. There were also political leaders who has signed covenant with the devil. They consulted mystic for power. I saw an American president. I saw the French president François Mitterrand. I saw the Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat. I saw our former president Kabila. Even the president Mobutu. They resorted to occultic power to sustain their political power. Then the Lord took me to another chamber of hell.